Hi, I'm Sproins. Welcome to episode 3 of my Xisuminati Modpack Let's Play series. And today, I want to start out by showing you the setup I have for growing wither skeleton skulls. So in the last episode, we checked out the nether, didn't find anything too interesting, but after the episode, I went back into the nether, and I looked around for a nether fortress. And after 2 hours or so, I finally found one. But when I got there, the spawn rates for wither skeletons was extremely low. And not just for wither skeletons, but there were hardly any mobs that spawned at all. So I did, however, find something called wither shrub seeds. Now the wither shrub seeds, I found 2 of them in one of the Ganny's nether undertaker chests, and you have to plant them on tilled netherrack. So to make tilled netherrack, you just plant down netherrack and you right click with either a diamond or a golden hoe, and then you have to hydrate it with lava instead of water, just like you would farmland. So underneath this cobblestone I have lava. I just have the cobblestone here so I don't accidentally fall in. And the wither shrub seeds, they behave just like pumpkins or watermelon. So for the stem to fully mature, actually it took about 7 hours, like of real time, of just waiting for it to very, very slowly grow. And then a little while longer after that, then it starts producing the wither skeleton skulls. So I've noticed that when you harvest these, you want to do it at an angle, because if you're looking directly on, once it breaks, you have a pretty good chance of also breaking the wither shrub. So you have to plant it again and wait for it to grow all over again, which, like I said, takes about 7 hours, so that's not a good thing. So you want to kind of be facing away from where the hitbox of the wither shrub actually is. But to help me out with those really slow growing times, I made the imaginary time block. And I also made a solar panel to power it. Let me just sleep real quick, then we'll talk about it. Alright, so the imaginary time block, what it does is, or what I believe it does, I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure what it does is it increases the random tick speed within a certain radius, and I'm not really sure what the radius is either. I don't think it's very big. But with the imaginary time block, these wither shrubs, they go from taking about 7 hours to mature to about less than 10 minutes, which is ridiculously insane, and I'm getting wither skeleton skulls all the time. You can see this one I broke has already grown back. Just break a couple more of them. We'll do a little test. We'll see how many grow back as I'm explaining. One time I harvested one and it just grew back instantly as soon as I broke it. But anyway, powering that we have the solar panel, a tier 2 solar panel from the Solar Flux mod. So yeah, the tier 1 kind of suck and they're not really worth using. This uses 500 RF per tick. You can see it says how much RF it's using. It's never quite getting up to 500, or as soon as it does, it uses some of that RF to power the machine. So it's not running at full efficiency all the time, but it is running enough to make a difference. A big difference. So with all the wither skulls that I got, I've fought the wither. I fought 3 of them actually, and I did have footage of that, but there was a problem and I lost it, but that's no big deal. It's just wither boss fight. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I took the wither skulls into the nether. I dug up until I hit the bedrock in the nether, the top of the bedrock, and I spawned the wither in. I took strength 2, region 2 potions, golden apple, just ran in, smacked him with the sword until he died. So yeah, pretty easy. We're not missing out on much. I did, however, gear up before I went to fight wither bosses, so let's take a look at the gear that I'm wearing real quick. I have titanium chestplate and titanium leggings, and I didn't have enough titanium to make a full set, so I compensated with diamond. But the reason why I chose titanium was because it provides more base protection than diamond. And then I just threw whatever enchantments I could get on these guys. I also crafted shiny sword, which does more base damage than the diamond sword, and I was able to get smite 2, which is helpful for fighting wither bosses. So that was pretty cool. And with some of the nether stars that I got from the wither bosses, a couple things. First of all, if we look under baubles, I made a belt of flight. Let's check out the recipe for that. Advanced belt base and feathers. Advanced belt base, leather, gold, and nether star. And the belt of flight, what that does, you might be able to guess. I can now fly, no longer bound by the rules of gravity. So that's really cool. The other thing that I made with the other nether star that I got was this imaginary time block. Let's take a look at the recipe. It's not exactly cheap at this point in the game, but it's still not too bad. So 2 of these, really easy recipe, you get 4. 2 of these, another really easy recipe, you just need steel ingots you can make with coal and iron. So it's 1-to-1 ratio. Put a redstone in the middle, surrounded by some of that steel, and you get mangaloy, so you need 2 of those. ZBQ-7, this one's a little bit more expensive, costs block of gold, block of diamond, lapis, and redstone. You only get 2 of those. And energized crystal, this is the expensive one. You do get 4, and you need 4, but here's where you need 4 more of these things. Remember, you only get 2, so that's a total of 5, so that's 5 diamond blocks. And then you need these cubic crystals with the nether star. The cubic crystals is another diamond, but you do get 4 of them. So pretty costly to me at this point in the game, but definitely worth it for what it does. And I already have more wither skulls than I need, so I can use this for other stuff. I can maybe take this over to the tree farm that we made last time and have it running a little bit faster. Powering it, again, the solar panel. Let's take a look at that recipe. You take 8 of the solar panel ones, which again, they're not really worth using at all. And solar panel ones just cost mirrors, wood, and redstone. The mirrors are glass with iron. So that's that. Another thing you might notice in my inventory, I have an item magnet. Check out the recipe for that. It's another quantum flux item. So here's the recipe. Another one of those mangaloys, redstone, lapis, and amplification crystal. You need 2 of those. You get 1 from nether quartz, diamond, darkstone. Darkstone is cobblestone with smooth and black dye in the middle. You get 8. So with the magnet, we can shift right click to turn it on, and it doesn't have to be on the hotbar. It can be anywhere in the inventory and it works. Here's a pretty good way to demonstrate it. It works, I think, up to 3 to 4 blocks, maybe even 5, but that's what I've been just like kind of using to harvest my sugar canes that I planted here. We can kind of like, and plus with the flight too, you just kind of like stay at the right eye level. Right, we don't have to worry about leaving any of them behind. So that's pretty good harvest, stack and a half. Alright, so back over here at the tree farm, let's take a quick look. A couple things have changed. Instead of a chest, we now have a transfer node connected directly to the harvester. That is connected to these oak drawers. And the oak drawers work just like caches. They hold single items. They can hold many stacks of single items. If we shift right click with an empty hand, we can see exactly how many items we have in the drawer, and we can also see these upgrade slots. So these can be upgraded. I kind of wanted to use the caches instead. I think they actually hold more for their price, but I've never used the oak drawers before, so I wanted to play around with those, and they can also be upgraded later, so that's something I might look into in the future. So down here, we have transfer nodes connected to the oak sapling oak drawer, and that is going around and going into the planter, and same thing for the oak wood. We have transfer node, and it's going directly into the redstone furnace. So we don't need any filters because they each have their own dedicated pipe, and I just have cover here to prevent them from connecting to each other. Right here I have a trash can, which is connected to a liquid transfer node, which is connected to the drum, because this drum was getting full of sludge, and it was slowing down the tree cutting down machine, harvester. So here's a recipe for those things. Here's this. It's very similar to the item transfer node. And here's the recipe for the trash can. It's regular trash can and bucket. The regular trash can is smooth stone, cobblestone, and a chest. And I turned it into, you can just use regular trash can, but I turned it into a fluids only just in case some of the wires connected, even though they're not. And there it goes, just working as it should. Down here I've also changed a few things. I added a second furnace generator, and that is because I needed some more power. I also upgraded this to a hardened energy cell. Let's take a look at the hardened energy cells recipe. It's just Invar and the old leadstone energy cell. You could just drop it in there, and the recipe for Invar is just the same as we made Electrum in the last episode. We make Invar blend, but instead of gold and silver we used pulverized iron and pulverized ferrous, and that gives us the Invar blend, and we smelt that to get the Invar. So that's pretty simple. Down here I started the basic machine setup. It's a basic setup for ore duplication, so we drop the raw ore in the chest, it gets sucked in to the hopper, and the hopper puts it into the pulverizer. And we looked at the pulverizer in the last episode. It gives us 2 pulverized dust per ore block, and I also export the pulverized material into this redstone furnace. The redstone furnace just smelts it and exports its ingots into this chest. You'll notice there are some pulverized materials in here, and that is because the pulverizer has a chance, whenever you pulverize any ore, or most ores, to give you a secondary output. And I have the secondary output exporting into this chest, and all of these are secondary outputs. So I want to hold on to those just in case I need to mix them together, maybe make some more Invar or Electrum or whatever I might need. So these have been doing their job, doubling ore. I did, however, have to increase my power production by adding a second furnace generator, and even with the second furnace generator, the energy still drains from this, and then it starts draining from these two. Now, it was never running long enough to drain completely, but if it had been running long enough, then it would have drained completely, and that's not good. So I'm going to have to think about some alternative kind of power. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. I kind of have an idea, but we'll think about that later. And I think I'll just use the power that the tree farm is producing I'll expand the farm and probably add some other farms maybe. It should be more than enough to power that. Over here, let's also take a quick look. Not really a whole lot going on just yet. I started to kind of organize my stuff, but I think I'm going to redo this as well. I also put in glass, just because one too many close calls with creepers. I did like the open field, but now, yeah, I think I'm just gonna... I actually might just replace this with wall, because I have another idea for this room, so this is probably all going to get switched around. I'm going to probably move all my storage stuff somewhere else, and then use this room for something else, or like dual purpose. But anyways, I started making these chests, the iron chests. Let's just take a look at the iron chests mod in NEI real quick. Iron chests, so you can make iron chests just as you think you would. Gold chest as well, diamond. You can also make copper, silver. Not really going to worry about those. Crystal chest, also another pretty cool thing. Obsidian chest. You can also make the dirt chest 9000, which is pretty cool. It's probably the best chest in the entire game. But you can also make these upgrades, so if you already have a chest laying around, like say I have one of these wooden chests laying around over here, and I want it to be an iron chest, but I don't want to have to make an iron chest and then maybe take out all of the inventory that's in the chest, or break the chest and put down another one. So I could just make the wood to iron chest upgrade, which surround iron with wood, and then all you have to do is right click on one of the chests and it will convert it from wood to iron. Similarly, you can go from iron to gold, gold to diamond, and there's some other upgrades for whatever else you want to do, but each tier holds a little bit more. So over here, this holds a little bit more than a regular chest. I think this is a double chest, so iron's double chest, and then gold is like 2 double chests, and the diamond is, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, those are our item management and storage solutions for right now. Alright, so I kind of spent a lot of time, maybe too much, in the first part just catching up and explaining things, so to make up for that, we're just going to jump right into the next thing, which is, you might be able to figure that out. We're going to go to the end and fight the Ender Dragon. So I got a little bit of stuff prepared here. First I'm going to put down this chest, and I'll also need to set my spawn, so I'll need to put this bed down. I'll do that here in a sec. Let's see. Yeah. The sword, I just threw this together, and it actually leveled up and gave me luck, so I used that to collect all the Ender Pearls that I needed to make the Eyes of Ender. I'm going to leave that here. Won't need my pick, won't need the hammer. Take the sword, take the bow, and these are all the arrows I come up with. This should be fine. I'm only going to need the arrows to take out the Ender Crystals. I would have liked to use snowballs, but I haven't found any snowy biomes, and I don't really have a way to create snowballs right now. I'm going to leave most of my food. Take like 9, I guess. I'm also going to take a golden apple just in case. I'll leave the magnet here as well. And yeah, this should be all I need, plus my armor. I'm not expecting this to be much different than the vanilla fight. So yeah, I think I'm just going to set my spawn and jump in and fight the Ender Dragon. Alright, so everything looks pretty normal except these Ender Lily seeds, or Ender Flower. You get Ender Lily seeds, I believe. No? Well, maybe there's some way. I know you can get Ender Lily seeds from Extra Utility. There we go. Ah, okay, so it's a different mod. Extra Utilities has the Ender Lily seeds. Ganny's End uses Ender Flower. We'll take a look at that later. Let's go ahead and start taking these things out. I hope this is enough arrows. This is all the arrows I could put together quickly. And Ender Dragon, there he is. Or she, whatever. Not doing much damage to me. So yeah, this fight's probably just going to be pretty easy, so I think I'm just gonna skip it. Alright, it's done. Well, not exactly where I wanted the end portal, but sword did more damage for the last hit than I thought it would actually take, but that's okay. Get to collect this experience. I'll go dump it in that drum, and yeah. That was pretty easy, so I'll meet you back in the overworld, and we'll start working on the next thing. Oh, cool, I also got some of those little hearts. 5 of them, wow. Awesome. Alright, we're back in the overworld, and the next thing that I want to do is to make an Ender Pearl farm. And I'm going to do that with some of those Ender Lily seeds that I found in the end, and if I do that, then I'm going to want to craft an Ender Core. So if you plant the Ender Lily seed on the Ender Core, it grows 4 times faster than it normally would, which is awesome because normally it grows very, very, very slowly. Probably comparable to maybe those Wither Shrub seeds, but anyway, the recipe for the Ender Core isn't too bad, but I do need this magical wood. Magical wood, bookshelf gold, and then you need enchanted books. Or you can use other enchanted items, and it gives you the magical wood. Now, depending on the level of enchantment that you use, the higher the level of enchantments that you use in this recipe, you can get more magical wood per recipe. So, I'm going to do that. I went to the that stronghold, and I grabbed all the books I could from one of the libraries. So I'm going to be enchanting these, and then crafting the magical wood, and then crafting the Ender Cores out of them. So this is how I get the XP out of the XP drum, is an XP shower from open blocks. Here's the recipe for it. really easy. Iron and a block of obsidian. To get it out, we have to turn the lever. We actually have to turn it off. So by default, if I just were to put this XP shower down without any kind of redstone signal going into it, it would just start spitting out the XP. So by default, I kind of wish it was inverted, but by default it just spits it out. So we have to apply a redstone signal to stop it. So when we flip the lever off, yeah, XP just kind of showers out and we can pick it up. But another weird thing that happened was all that XP that I got from the Ender Dragon, as soon as I came back to the overworld, it was all gone. And, like, completely gone. There wasn't a visual bug or anything. I logged out, logged back in. I tried changing dimensions. It was just gone. So, yeah, definitely a bug, but that's okay because I have a little bit of XP here. I'm going to have to make do with what I have. Hopefully I'll have enough to make all the ender cores that I need, but I'm going to go ahead and get to work on that. Alright, so we're out here a little ways off from the base, and I've changed a few things. First of all, this is the tree farm that was over there by the base. I've moved the entire thing over here and expanded it a little bit. So what I did was I crafted these upgrades, 10 upgrades, which increase the radius by 2. So they start out as a 3x3, goes up to 5x5, and then 7x7. And the recipe for these are just tin and raw plastic, gold nugget, and redstone. And I put one of those in the harvester and in the planter, so I now have a 7x7 tree farm area. I switched these back, or I guess switched them to caches. I tried out the oak drawers. They're kind of cool, but I like the caches better for what I'm doing with these, so those are going to be caches. I also found out that you can just put the trash can right next to the harvester and it will still automatically dump the sludge right into the trash can. So you don't have to have like the drum and the fluid transfer node and all that going on. If we go under here, you can take a look. I tried to clean it up a little bit. It's still basically the same thing going on as it was over there, but it's a little bit cleaner. Still have the redstone furnace, but this time I added 3 furnace generators down here. So and I actually have to kind of change this around a little bit. I forgot to put the transfer pipe to put more charcoal in these guys. But I'll take care of that here soon. And then we just have rednet energy cables sucking the energy out of these guys and into the energy cell. And actually this furnace is just going straight back into the redstone furnace. So it's just kind of powering that, which doesn't take very much energy at all anyways. So it's kind of splitting its power that it gets. Now over here is where I set up the ender farm. Or it's prepped, it's ready to go. I just have to put in the ender lily seeds. So it's basically the same thing that's going on with the tree farm, except this time I have a transfer node connected directly to the harvester, and I also have a cache on the back of it. So there's only 2 things that are going to come from this ender farm, and that's ender pearls and ender lily seeds. And I don't think it creates more than 1 ender lily seed. I think I'll always have the same amount that I put in the first time. So what will happen is, hopefully, that's what I think is going to happen, is the ender pearl will go into the cache because it can't go down here because I have a filter here set for ender lily seeds, and the ender lily seeds will get sucked out and go into the planter, and they won't be able to go to the cache because the cache only accepts ender pearls as its item. So hopefully, if I did everything right, that's what's going to happen. So I guess all I have to do is put the ender lily seeds in here, and they planted, and they're still going to take a really long time, but I also brought my imaginary time block, so we're going to put that right there, get the solar panel on top of it like that, and I guess we just wait and see what happens. I also brought my chunk loader since I'm not going to be over here a lot of the time. Chunk loader it keeps the chunks loaded while we're not here, so I can be off over at the base. Normally these chunks wouldn't be loaded, so nothing would be going on, but thankfully there's a block to fix that. I'm going to put this down here, just anywhere I guess, and you can actually show lasers. It'll show you the radius. We might not be able to see it from up here. Yeah, we kind of can. It shows you the radius of chunks that's going to keep loaded, so you can see kind of in a circular area around this farm, which is fine, and if we expand, it'll still be chunk loaded in pretty much every direction. So that's fine. I'm going to let this run for a little bit and see how it goes. I think this 7x7 farm, it should be way more than enough to keep itself powered and this powered, and then any other farms that we want to add. And we also should get a lot of wood and probably a lot of saplings, a bunch of apples. So yeah, I'm happy with this. We'll see how it works after a while. Back here at the base, and we're kind of left without power. But that's okay. That's something we'll worry about probably in the next episode. For now, let's just step back and do something that doesn't require any power. Something I've been wanting to do but kind of been putting off just because I haven't really had the need to, but now's a good time, so let's kind of expand our Tinker's Construct stuff. And I'm going to do that by creating a smeltery. Now right here is where the tree farm was, and I've kind of patched it in, but I think this is a good place to put the Tinker's Construct smeltery. I always like putting the smeltery outside. I think outside's a good place for a smeltery. So right about here, just clear out a little area. It's not going to be that big. Pretty sure in total it's going to be 5x5. I might actually push it back a little bit more too. It's going to be 5x5, and that's including the wall. So it's going to be in total 3x3. So I guess right here is where I want it. So 5x5 like so. And this will be the very bottom, of course. So I'll fill that in. And it's getting dark, let me sleep. So I'll just start building it up. I want the front to be right here. So we'll leave some blocks clear of that area so we can put in some of the things that we'll need. Just build this up like so. And I think we'll only build it up to this height for now. Don't really plan on using the smeltery a whole lot, just kind of using it to upgrade some of the weapons and tools that we have. I'm going to take out these corners. You'll see why here in a minute. Now there's a couple other things we need for the smeltery. We'll need a controller, which you make like this. The brain of the smeltery. We'll also need a tank. We'll just make one for now. That will hold the lava. We'll also need a faucet. I think I'm going to make 2 of them. And we'll also need a drain, which I forget how to make one. Like that. Let's make 2 of those as well. So with these, they cannot be the corner blocks. So we'll pop these off and put one of the drains on this side, one of the drains on this side. And even though there's only the little hole on one side of the block, you can actually use multiple sides as the drain. So I'll probably need more faucets then, but we can take from either of these sides will work. So also for each of these sides, I'm going to put down a casting table and a casting basin. Actually, I'm going to bring this up by 1 as well. So, casting table, casting basin. Let me make those faucets real quick. So faucet here, and on this side, I'm going to have the table over there and the basin right there. Now I'll place the controller. I'll put that one right in the middle. And we're actually going to put the seared tank right on top of it. That should be okay. And we'll just put down the last of these bricks. And I do believe that's all we need to do. And this should be functional. I'm also going to, I went to the Nether, took a drum, and I filled it up with 50 buckets of lava. So that should be plenty. So all I should have to do is grab this from the bucket and put it into the tank. You can see amount 1,000 out of 4,000, 1,000 millibuckets or Minecraft buckets, whatever it is, equals 1 bucket. So fill that guy up, and then we should be able to look at the controller, and hopefully I did everything right. It could be that maybe the tank can't go on the top. Did I get the tank back? Yeah, and it retained its inventory, but it made the breaky sound. It's very possible I'm doing something wrong. I'm forgetting something. That is not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. Yeah, I guess the seared tank just couldn't be on the top, but it's right next to the controller, so that should work. Now, this is a little small, so we can't do a whole lot of operations at a time. I think that's just fine, though. I think that'll be fine for what I want to do. For the floor, not sure. We got a lot of these seared bricks. I could just also make the floor seared bricks. Let's kind of see how that looks, actually. That's not too bad. And then maybe I could put like a, I could expand this out by one more, or put like some kind of fences or some kind of barrier around this, just to give it a little bit of depth. But I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Right now I'm just worried about getting this functional, which it should be functional. In fact, I brought some blocks to check it out. Ardite and cobalt ore. So you can smelt these. These will smelt, and when you cast them, you can actually get 2 ingots per ore. So this is a way to double your ores, although maybe not the most practical. But it is a way, and it's the way I'm going to use cobalt and ardite. And when you mix these together, if you have to have the ratio 1:1, and whenever there's a 1:1 ratio inside the smeltery that are melted, they'll automatically combine to create manilium, I believe is how you say that. At least that's how I say it. Which is a pretty good material that we can use to make items and tools and stuff. So let's just go ahead and pop it in there and see if it works. So you see a little progress bar. When this is full, that means that they're ready to smelt, and they'll be smelted, and they'll turn into the liquid. We'll be able to get them out by casting them into the casting basin. If we cast out enough, this will turn into a block of whatever we cast it into, and then this, we can create all kinds of patterns and molds, and that's what we'll be doing to create the new items. So let me get that set up and get ready to go. Alright, so once again, I've created some of these stone tool parts, but this time I created them to make the molds that we'll use to make the parts out of other materials that can only be made with molds. So, for example, let's do the stone large plate first. We'll put it on the casting table, and I've already went ahead and smelted up some gold. You can also use bronze, I think, or some other kind of material to make the mold, but I'm going to just use gold because I have some. And let's see. So it says that we have 12 ingots of gold. So when I right click on the seared faucet, it's going to dump out the gold, and it'll dump out whatever's on the bottom. You can change what's on the bottom by clicking. You can change the order if you have many different materials, liquids in here. And you can see now it says 10, so it used a couple of the ingots. And there you go, you can click and change what comes out. And now we have, if we right click, it turned our stone plate into a large plate cast. So now we can repeat that process. We can put the large plate cast down, and this time I want molten manilium. And again, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it. So now something to keep in mind is this also uses material cost 8, just as many as the stone plate cost to make. So that's going to use 8 of the manilium ingots. So that's going to use half my ingot supply of molten manilium. So it's still pretty expensive. So we do that, right click, on the faucet, we wait a little bit, and you can see it's going through the ingots, and slowly it fills up. And we right-click, and we get our manilium large plate, and we'll also get our mold back so we can use it again. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make up some parts for a new hammer. So I'll show you the hammer that I'm making in just a moment. One last thing I should mention, you can also make a cast for ingots. So we just make a gold cast. Now we can, for example, take either the gold or anything else that we might have in here and cast it into this ingot cast. So we put that back on the casting table and right click, and we should get a gold ingot. And if we want to, we can throw it back into the smeltery and it will become molten gold yet again. Right. So anyway, I have everything that I need for the new hammer that I'm going to make. So I have the large plate, and tough rod is going to be, and you know what, this actually looks like it's spelt manulin. So I'm going to try to say that from now on. So manulin, which will give it lots and lots and lots of durability. And for the head, I'm just going to use cobalt, because cobalt is actually has the fastest mining speed. Though right now, 4.27. So, yeah, it's not a whole lot right now, but it will increase over time the more we use it. So, let's name this one. And for this guy, I'm really, really hoping that it doesn't give me auto smelt. So I'm not really looking forward to leveling this up, but I do need to go mining and looking around for some diamonds, because I'm really low on diamonds. Actually, let's do a quick comparison. We could see mining speed's only 4 with this thing, and I'm very pleased with how fast that it is. So this is already at 4.27, so it's a little bit more than the first one. And the XP, it looks like it takes a crazy amount of XP to get up to the next level. I guess that's because it is made of such high quality materials. Maybe, I don't remember. Yeah, I think the first one, that only took like 1,000 to get to the first, or maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So that's my new hammer, and I'm going to craft a new set of other tools similarly. The business end, I guess, is going to be cobalt, and everything else is going to be manulin, except for the sword. So I'm going to try to get the materials together and craft up a new set of tools, and then when I get to the sword, I'll come back and show you that, because that one's going to be a little bit different. Alright, so I have the tools all crafted up, ready to go. I'm actually going to hold on to the first hammer that I had, just because it has that fortune on it, and in case I find diamonds or something, I'll definitely want to use fortune until hopefully this tool gets fortune on it. We'll see what happens. So now I'm ready to make the sword. And sword's going to be just slightly different. So I'm going to click on the broadsword, and I'm going to put in paper full guard and paper tool rod. And what paper does is, paper basically has almost no attributes or extremely low attributes, so they don't contribute much to the tool, but they do allow modifiers. So this will give me a modifier per paper part. So I'll have 2 modifiers that I'll be able to add. For the blade, I'm going to go with the manulin. Just because according to this materials and U-book, manulin has the highest base attack out of any other material. So hopefully we'll be able to get this attack really, really high. So let's go ahead and create it. I haven't thought of a name for this. By the way, it's this is going to be a cutlass because I'm using the full guard. Full guard's the pattern we found in the first episode that you can only find in villages. You can't actually craft the full guard pattern. So cutlass, huh? There we go. And let's just look at what we can do. Now for the modifiers, I'm going to be putting on nether quartz. It takes 72 to get to the next level, and you can see the attack goes up if we put the nether quartz on. So there's 2, and slowly it'll go up. There's a much faster way to do this though. you can open up a crafting station and put it down, and then we can add like a block at a time. And then it doesn't actually tell us how many we need to the next one if you do it this way, so it will stop letting us do it when it gets to where it is though. So I'm going to convert these all into blocks and do it that way. So let's see if I can just drop the cutlass here. Okay, so we're at least at 1. It won't let us do it. It will let us put another block on, and won't let us put on a block. So there's 70, so these will be the last 2 that we have to put. So now it should be, one of the modifiers has been completely used up. So we can go over here and check it out. Where did it go? Did I leave it over here? Yes, I did. So drop it in here, and right, so one of the modifiers has been used, and we still have modifier. So now the attack went up to 6. It was at 4, it's now at 6. So that's how that works. Let's add the next set of modifiers. Right, so modifiers where it did say 2 remaining and then 1 remaining, it now has none remaining, and the attack is at 7.5. This one was at attack damage 8, however. You can see that it added the sharpness. That was one of the second random modifiers that got added as it leveled up. This other one does 8 as well, but I'm going to be putting this to use, and hopefully we'll level up and get a little bit more attack on that thing. Now there are other ways to add modifiers, and as it levels up, it does give us a chance to add more modifiers. So any modifiers that this lets me add, I'm going to throw on more of the nether quartz. You can see it kind of gets costly after a while, but nether quartz is pretty easy to get. Anyway, I was also thinking about maybe I should make a new pick, but to be fair, this pick is awesome, and I haven't really had any means to replace it. Although it is getting kind of low, it's been a while though. It still has quite a bit of life left on it. But hopefully I can find another one. I might just go exploring more villages and see if I can find another one. This thing is so awesome. So I'm going to forego the pick for the time being. But yeah, now we got some slightly better tools, and hopefully they'll work out and we can use them for a little bit longer before we have to upgrade yet again. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's video. We got a little bit of stuff done. Let's just check on this real quick. So it's been a few hours since I made this. 209 ender pearls, that's awesome. This thing is doing its thing, and let's just check. It looks like everything's working fine. Planter is completely full of saplings, that's awesome. These guys should all be full of both power and of charcoal. This guy should also be full. Yeah, so everything is awesome. Now one thing that actually did happen was, you could see, you might have noticed that I moved the imaginary time block. It was right here, but like this, it was affecting all of these saplings. So this was like a straight wall of nothing but wood. Like as soon as the harvester could harvest it, it would instantly be growing back, and it was causing a power drain. Like I had no idea what it was until I noticed that, yeah, this was a little bit too close to the tree. So I just moved it back by a couple blocks, and it's fine. So let's check out these things. Okay, so these progress bars are going up a lot. Still not really a whole lot of apples. I mean, that is a lot of apples, but not nearly as much wood or even the oak saplings. But yeah, this is going amazingly, and we got ender pearls now. So yeah, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Next episode, I think I'm going to work on getting some another way to make power. I'm going to go with something probably a little bit more traditional, but it still should be fun. We're going to work on that because soon I want to start looking at quarries, just so I won't have to mine anymore. But yeah, that's for next time. We can start on some of that. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you next time.